Hello all, welcome back. Well, game developers, they seem to be on the defensive yet again, and they're blaming us, the consumer, for not supporting them. Really? Anyway, apparently because we don't buy enough of their games day one, then we don't get sequels. Now, I'll read a little bit of an extract in a second from an article that it's probably a few weeks old now, but it's only recently that I've decided to make this video because I've read about it again out there, and developers are just blaming us. Now, game prices have gone up to now £70 a game. I mean, Jesus, that is expensive. I don't care who you are, that is expensive. And if we don't want to buy a game because, you know what, it doesn't do enough for me, that there's not enough there to entice me to buy it day one, I want to wait till the price drops, or maybe even buy it second hand, then why is that my fault? That is your fault. You're the developer and the consumer. The consumer doesn't purchase the product, then there has to be something wrong with it, or it's not quite up to the consumer's expectation. Now, Days Gone, and I'll get onto this article in a minute, is a perfect example of that. I did buy this game, day one release. I thoroughly enjoyed this game, but not enough people did. Not enough people did. Let me just read you the article now.
It's gonna be dark soon.
When does that ever stop me?
Now, I read this, IGN basically posted it, say weeks, a few months, going back to April. And it was all to do with Days Gone creative director and writer John Garvin. Now, what he said was, if you love a game and you want a sequel, you should buy it at effing full price. Now, he goes on to say that he did, yes, his opinion, may find it of interest, but it might piss some people off. And he goes on to say, if you love a game, buy it at effing full price. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got it on a sale, or I got it on the PS Plus, or whatever. Now, yeah, alright, I get where you're coming from, but if the game doesn't tickle the consumer enough, you're not going to buy it. I'm just saying, you don't, but don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel. If it wasn't supported at launch, Garvin replied, it's like God of War. Got whatever number of millions sales at launch, and you know Days Gone didn't. I'm just speaking for me personally as a developer. I don't work for Sony. I don't know what the numbers are. This is a brilliant game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am quite saddened that at this moment in time we are not getting a sequel, but I'm very sorry. That ain't my fault. You didn't tickle the consumer enough, and game prices now have gone that crazy. We're talking £70 per game. It's going to make a lot of people think twice, because you buy 2 or 3 games, especially if you're going to buy, special editions, this and that, you could be talking over £300 for 3 games. Can everybody afford to do that every single month? Not all of us, not by any stretch of the imagination. So people are going to wait for sales. People are going to wait more for game prices to come down and maybe buy them second hand. And it's not as if the games are working day one. I mean, let's just grab a game for an example. Sega Rally. Probably cost around about the same price. Probably 30, 40 quid back in the day. But you know what? It works. It might not be the prettiest, but it's all we had. And we didn't have a patch or anything like that to make this one work, did we? Maybe if your games were 100% perfect from the word go, we might be more inclined to actually part with that amount of money. Cyberpunk, there's another example. What a crazy game that has been. The amount of patches that has had. And even now, if you're playing it on a base PS4, even though Sony have now put it back on their network, you know, they're not going to guarantee that it's going to run perfectly on a base PS4. They're saying it'll work fine, or should work fine, on a PS5 and a PS4 Pro, but on a base PS4, there is no guarantee. But if you've got that working for yourself, kudos, fair play. Now, at what point is it our fault, the consumers? I really don't get that. And you devs are not a charity. Let's just go back to game prices. How high has a product got to go before we actually say, I'm not paying that anymore? Because that's what it is. A game is a product. It's nothing more. It could be film. It could be music. It could be holidays. It could be fuel. There's a classic example. Fuel. A game is not a necessity. Fuel is. But at what point, at what price has fuel, say, got to go up by before us as a consumer have to say, you know what, I can't afford to pay that anymore. I'm not paying that anymore. Same with games. There's a lot of people out there that will not pay it. Ratchet and Clank, it looks to be a brilliant game. But you know what? I've not played a Ratchet and Clank game for such a long time. It's not tickled me enough to want to part with 70 quid. It's not going to happen. I'm going to wait for the game to come down on price a little bit, or I'll buy it second hand. And it's as simple as that. But you developers cannot blame us, the consumers. No way. That's not happening. Especially when you use, certainly, shall we say, in the loot boxes, stuff like that, those sort of tricks. Another example, Dead by Daylight. That's a fantastic game. It's one of my most favourite online games, and I love it to death. That would have cost you back in 2016, certainly £35, £45, quite easily. I bought it second hand. I bought it for £10. But I probably paid more than double that now by buying the extra characters that I want to use. So you do have ways of extracting money out of us, even when we don't really want to part with it or part with full price. Because even buying that game at full whack back in the day, I wouldn't have got all these additional characters for free. That was never going to happen. So you're always making money no matter what. And to actually start blaming us, the consumers, is a little rich. I'll leave that one there before I turn this into a full rant. But let me know your views, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Take care. Woohoo!